And hello, my viewers. Welcome to this exciting episode of the Lifestyle Show with me, your host, Catherine Ngovi. And this is my sign name. And today we're going to be having an interesting conversation talking about the one and only Zari Hassan. So, on today's story, we're going to be talking about her lifestyle, how she started, and how basically giving you a biography of her life. So, we have so many people who really like her, and the reason why so many people like her is because of the powerful aura that she gives. When you look at her, you really feel the vibe of a best lady. She's a very, very interesting person who we are very good. We are going to talk about, and we are hoping to have a full discussion. So today for Zari, this is the sign name I'm going to be giving her. And remember, her name is the Boss Lady. And the reason why she's carrying this title is because this is someone who has worked tirelessly without fail, and she's not built her brand on any other person, especially not a man. So, for Zari, let me get back to where the whole thing started. Zari was actually born in Uganda, and in her life in Uganda, I would say was just casual. And later, she moved to the UK. And in UK, she moved there for work. That was for like 2 years. And later, after she left UK, she was back to Uganda. After some time, we will see her trying to move to South Africa. When she got to South Africa, everything was going on well. And I remember around 2013, if I'm not wrong, around 2013 is where her life began there in South Africa. And for the boss lady, that's where she met the husband. And the husband name is Ivan. And after they fell in love, they began supporting each other and building something for themselves. And around that was around from 2013, and it went on until 2017. So I think if you give it a mathematics, it should be around a 4-year relationship. And for the boss lady, through this relationship, she had gotten 3 children. With the 3 children, she was able to progress with life, getting through all the challenges, respecting every other thing that's coming her way. But I would say she was experiencing some level of physical abuse, which was why she actually broke off the relationship. And through this, she had no choice but to leave the marriage and stay on her own. And all this time, I'll say she was not someone who was depending on the man, or she did not sit back and wait for someone to provide for her. At the same time, she was a musician. She also was a businesswoman, and she was also a social media activist. You will actually see that through her page. She had her own money and she had her own things, and she had focused on her own craft. So as time went by, later she started dating Diamond Platinums. Diamond Platinum is the relationship started about 2017 or about 2018 thereabout, and that's when the romantic relationship started, and they got to have 2 children together. From the first marriage, she had gotten 3 children. Now in this second relationship, she had 2 children. And for sure, we saw that when they separated, she had to continue with her life. But I'll say the first husband became sick, and the specific sickness that she has was stroke. At this point, when he got sick, he had separated with the wife. So I think Zari used to come once in a while to just support wherever she could. until later he passed on. That was a very, very sad moment when the first husband passed on, but Zari had already moved on with her life, and at this point, the relationship with Diamond was actively going on. So after the burial and the condolences were done, she was able to now close that chapter of her life clearly, and she was able to move and focus on her marriage to Diamond. At the same time, we will see that the first husband, Mr. Ivan, who had his own business in South Africa, it was BCC. It was a very good business. You can go and check on your social media if you want the full info about the whole business. So the boss lady took over and she became the CEO of this business, BCC. And at this point, I'll say she was very lucky because this allowed her to get much more opportunities in South Africa, and that's how she became her own boss lady, permanently running a very big enterprise. So after some time, Diamond and Zari had some quarrels, and the specific reasons of the quarrels I wouldn't really give. I don't even have that much information, but they had their own wrangles, and that is why the two of them cut ties and they separated. At the same time, after the separation, Zari was able to move on with her life with her 5 children. For me, I'll say when I look at this lady who is standing strong on her own, raising her 5 children, proudly showing them off without shame, that is very, very comforting, and is a great vision to see. And it's showing us the normal way of life. If you have your own income, you can actually provide fully for your children without worry, without stress, and people will not want to, you won't care even what people say about you, but you'll be able to have a very fulfilling life. Because once people gossip and once people say a lot of things about you, that doesn't even affect much of your life until you allow it. But if you focus on your life, everything is going to be good. But you can see now she was able to build her brand. She has a house. She has a lot of things which she can do for herself. So this is actually a very great brand where we know Zari in Kenya, we know the Zari clothes, we know a lot of things which are branded by the name Zari, but all this is because this lady stood firm on her ground. She is famous, she is known, she is liked, and she is able to pull the hearts of many people who actually love her dearly. And that is very, very good position to have, because with all these likes and the social media following, and that has allowed her to build the brand, which was something maybe she was not having before. But I remember she used to do DJing at the time, which people looked at her like a very beautiful woman doing DJing, and that was very, very nice, where she did clothing brand when she was growing up. With her 5 children, she's able to provide for them effortlessly. I'm really, really proud of this, and I'm really pretty proud of the strides she has made. And allow me to take a short break, and we'll be back to continue with more on Zari. Firstly, we've been talking about none other than the boss lady herself, who goes by the name Zari Hassan, and her history, and the proud mother of 5 kids, who is featured in different films and on Netflix. And you remember the Young Famous in Africa film on Netflix, which was actually very, very famous. And most of us, I'm sure, probably got to watch it because of Zari. So after that film aired, that is when people had very much divided opinions about Zari. Some were on the negative, some on the positive. And that was a very big, big change. Some people tried to focus on the negative, talking of her not being ashamed of some things. And some people really tried to bring her down, talking bad about her. But at the same time, we really saw that as much as people were trying to castigate her and put her down, she was not really bothered because she allowed herself to move on with life and follow her heart in all her endeavors. And now we can see her understanding and going with that. So I really want to congratulate her for that. So sometimes we get to see a lot of challenges. Maybe people are getting to face a lot of challenges, but that was through season one. And when it came to season two of Young Females and African, whoa, we saw another draft or another change happening where many people now change their opinion to liking her, to getting to follow the boss lady much more, to wanting to give her only happy comments, to being happy about her family. And that is how, that's the reason why the boss lady had chosen this specific man. So some people tried to talk about the boyfriend, trying to bring him down, saying he's younger, the age gap, and all that. But all I'll say is these are just comments and these are just people making their opinion. It doesn't even matter what you think because she has her own decision. You can support her or you can fail to support her, but you have to understand that these are two people who have their own private comfort, concerns, and as much as the society might have a lot of opinion towards them, that doesn't really matter because we saw that there was a lot of things which are coming up. I really feel bad when I see people trying to throw a lot of negativity towards Zari because she made her own choice. People who follow her choosing her every other day. So we need to actually respect her decision, respect her choices, and maybe congratulate her on her wins, support her when whatever she's doing. If she's happy, all you can give is support. Whether we like it, whether it pleases us, whether it's our thing or not, I think the best thing we can do is support her. So instead of coming here to measure each other and trying to bring each other down, it's better if we try and support each other because we understand life has its own ups and downs, and sometimes this is always very, very challenging. But if people are here to castigate or trying to bring people down, that doesn't really, really work. This is a young man who actually had to make their own decision, and if we kind of keep positive, we keep it positive, we give the full support, we encourage them, that's the way to go. We focus on the positive comments and not the negative. So my advice to all the women out here today, after talking of Zari's story, you saw that this lady went through an abusive relationship, and sometimes people will always have opinions, but remember, people will always talk negative, but the best thing you can do is move away from them and move on with life, because we saw that this lady going through an abusive relationship wasn't reason enough for her to stay, and she did not allow herself to stay. But after years later, we see that she has actually moved on and built her life to the level where she is at right now. And I believe if you actually try and do something on yourself without depending on a man or any other person, then I believe you'll be able to achieve a lot for yourself, and you're going to become proud of yourself in the future because you will see the much you have achieved, the improvement you have made, and the goals you've been able to achieve in your life, and you will not feel bad. So it's very, very simple. So if in whatever you're doing, don't just be patient and don't depend on any other person. Don't allow yourself to be stressed. Don't focus on the negative and the abuses which you're getting maybe online, but you can focus on the positive and move on. So I believe through all the stress, you can go to a professional who's going to be helping you to deal with whatever, and that's going to be better. And you are going to be proud of yourself in future. And that is all. I hope, my viewer, you've been able to engage with us and you've gotten to learn about us. You can go to YouTube and you can subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms. Leave a comment down below, and you can share with other friends for them to get to learn together with us and talk about Zari. And the topic today has been Zari. Goodbye from Science TV. See you next